What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, welcome to mud season, I guess.
Golly. Man, you see my truck the other day?
I did. I was just watching your video.
I just rinsed it off today. A smart man would have done that yesterday.
Yeah.
Like when it's good and soft. But instead, I pulled in the parking lot or carport and shut her down. And today, I actually wasn't even going to rinse it off today. I was like, but I couldn't see out my windows. Like I had taken my hand and cleaned off a little looking area.
All right, it's a mess out there. I mean, and it's mud season, and it is going to continue to be mud season until further notice. I mean,
isn't there snow coming in February?
Oh Lord, I don't know. I know next week we're supposed to, not have a lot of rain. I want to say dry up, but it ain't really going to dry up much.
From my understanding, I had somebody tell me that they thought that we had more snow coming in February.
I wouldn't doubt it, but I don't know that we've got any like officially in the forecast.
Yeah.
Is that like more like a farmer's almanac kind of prediction?
Maybe. It might have been an extended thing. Man, I hope we don't. I've had my taste of the snow this year.
Well, a lot of times we get snow and then it warms up, 2 days later and it's here and gone.
Yeah.
And that's the bad thing. That snowed right at the very beginning of that cold snap. And then
just hung around.
I mean, we didn't get above freezing for like a week after that. That was wild. A week after it snowed, literally a week, it last snowed on Monday.
Yeah.
And then the kids didn't go back to school even the next Monday.
Yeah.
Because, and I don't blame them.
The roads were still pretty bad in some spots.
I had to, I killed a deer, and then I had a couple of other buddies give me some deer on Saturday.
Yeah.
So Sunday morning.
A buck? Did you get you a good one?
No, I killed a doe.
Oh, I got you.
It was meat hunting, but I took them over to, I shot them out Dave's deer processing.
Yeah, that's who I use.
Yeah, I've taken some. I take steers over there every year too. It's actually the first time I've taken him a deer. I did take him an antelope, but going over there, especially when you get right there to his house, buddy, the pucker effect was a 10 out of 10 going down those hills.
Yeah,
I mean because they were solid ice still.
I would imagine so.
And that was on Sunday, and I was told my wife was like, "They ain't going back tomorrow." And sure enough, which our kids went to school on Monday.
Well, and that's what TCA we did too.
Yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, the county schools were out.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not even any freezing temperatures. Well, I'll take that back. This Sunday, it's going to get down to 29. That's the only time we're going to be below freezing in the 14 day.
Well, I hope that and I don't know what the forecast was they were looking at, but that's what the postal.
I mean, that only puts you through the 8th of February.
Yeah.
And we always figure we're at risk for snow up through about the 10th or so of March.
Well, and we usually have that fake spring.
Yeah.
A lot of times, which I mean, heck, I'm kind of laughing because I'm sitting here in a short sleeve shirt, and just a few days ago it was like 7 degrees.
Well, that's what I was, filming for YouTube yesterday, and so yesterday being Wednesday, it was 57 when I woke up, like at 5 a.m. The Wednesday before, it was 5.
Yeah,
because my truck wouldn't start.
Yeah,
I needed to go to Covington. I had to.
Does it not have the heater? The glow plug heater?
Well, I mean, you turn the key and but
the little thing comes up.
Yeah, and it started last year when it was like 0 one morning. But I hadn't started it the entire time of this cold snap. I just hadn't needed to. But I needed to go to the doctor, or I had a doctor's appointment. I needed to get feed while I was in Covington. I was like, well, I'll take the truck. Would not start.
Dang. Was this your diabetes checkup?
Yeah. I'm no longer pre-diabetic.
So the carb cutout worked.
Yeah, and I'm trying to stick with it. I'm not being like super strict like keto diet, but yeah,
Was all your blood work good then?
Which of course, when they call, you're not talking directly to the doctor. That was pretty much all I was worried about, and she knew that. She's like, "Yeah, you're not pre-diabetic." And I was like, "What was the number? Like, I want to know what the number was." And then like even the doctor told me, it's like my bad cholesterol had been a little high, but he's like, but your good cholesterol is also really high too, and that helps cancel that out.
Well, nobody gives a shit about cholesterol.
Well, and I was like, I don't even want to know, because I mean, my whole thing is if I'm trying not to get diabetes, I'm cutting all the carbs out. I mean, I eat bacon, sausage, and eggs pretty much every morning.
Yeah,
or some combination of those three. I'm eating some form of fried pork and eggs.
Yeah.
Like this morning I had a sausage and egg burritos. Most mornings I just have 2 or 3 slices of bacon and 2 fried eggs.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. So you ain't worried about the cholesterol.
yeah, no carbs.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about the cholesterol.
Well, and I see a lot of stuff that's kind of like cholesterol really don't matter.
Right. They've demonized it more. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
But all right. Well, good, man.
That's talking health with me.
Yeah. That's good news. That's good news. Well, while you're celebrating the good news, you can jump on agzaga.com.
Yeah, that's a great way to celebrate good news.
It is, man.
Yeah.
Go on there.
Treat yourself to a little gift.
Buy you a new hitch pin. Get you some bale wrap.
Valentine's Day is coming up.
Get you some new underwear.
I know some ladies out there that would love to go ahead and get stocked up on that wrap for Valentine's Day.
I thought you were going to say you'd love to pull your pants down and see like
those cinch underwear they sell.
Yeah.
They might.
One of them has like I think one of them has like a deer head or something on
like
it.
a bull elk
like
or
right
something.
on the gonad area, so you could be like, here it comes,
Yeah.
Kind of prepare them.
Yeah.
But yeah, use that code, Talk Dirt, all one word, all caps. Save yourself 10%.
Yeah, no matter what you buy.
Yep.
And hey, if you're like some people maybe don't wear underwear, you can still find other things to buy. So.
Yep. Well, all right. Well, man, Bobby Lee and I were talking about, we got some listener questions and some stuff to jump into. First thing I got to say, I really appreciate our audience. I feel like we have a very engaged audience. On our Instagram page, we put up a poll asking, because we've been kicking around. I mean, I had a great chat, great time when we had William Lee on.
Oh, yeah.
We've had great time with Justin, Lee, all of our guests.
We've only had one guest we really didn't like.
Lee.
Well, I wasn't going to say any names. I was just going to say there was just one I didn't like. But yeah.
But no, man, we've really enjoyed that, and we're kind of, thanks to you guys, and this is what we want y'all to keep doing. Keep leaving us ratings and reviews. And by doing that, you're helping us push this exposure. And so I think we could probably pull some pretty interesting people in the ag world for some guest episodes. Put out a poll, asked if y'all would want that, and it was a unanimous yes.
And that's amazing.
That is. You can't get people to agree on anything.
Yeah, right. The people argue over whether the sky is blue or not.
Yep.
Or nobody fat fingered it and hit the wrong button, because I do that all the time. I'm trying to vote for something.
Well, it was
an online poll, and I'm like, damn it, I clicked Biden.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh yeah, I know. And it wasn't like 10 people. Like, it was a pretty good number of people. Yeah, I mean, if you gathered this group of people in a room, I don't know that they would agree on.
Somebody would have disagreed just to disagree.
Yes.
But yeah.
So unanimous. Y'all would like some guest episodes or more. Ideally, I'd like to see us get to one or two a month. I think would be pretty cool.
Well, like William Lee being our most recent one. I mean, he is an expert. We joked about none of us are experts really, but no, I mean
that's his
insurance.
Yep.
I was on the phone with him yesterday because I had a call from the USDA about some paperwork I needed to sign. I was like, oh Lord, I don't even. And it had something to do with insurance. I was like, well, gosh, let me call you. I mean, I'm going to come sign it, but like, I don't know what all this is. And
did he tell you about his phone call from Georgia?
He did, yeah.
Isn't that awesome? Whoever you are, he did not tell me your name. We had a listener.
He respects client confidentiality.
Yep. He said he had a listener call him and talk to him about that. He was pumped. He was like, this is pretty cool. Yeah. So that is awesome. And again, that just shows, man, we got a very engaged audience.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys doing that. And we'll work on brewing up some guests. That kind of be fun. That kind of let me kind of knock the dust off, kind of get back to how I used to be on fully loaded.
Doing interviewing process. Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Well, I feel that we have to mention what is going on right now before we really jump into the listener questions.
The showdown at the border.
Yeah, man. Like what you think?
Man, I certainly side with the state of Texas.
Yeah, I figured you were going to say with Biden.
I mean, he is the most popular president ever. But the whole state rights, and I don't know how the federal government can tell them they can't protect their own state border. Like, I mean, the feds could say, hey, we're not going to do it. Y'all do what you want. And I think that is a little bit shitty that the feds aren't going to help defend, not just a state border, but also our national border. But for the feds because the feds have basically told them to stand down, like they have to remove the razor wire.
Well, yeah, they actually went in and cut it the first time. they went in and cut the razor wire and removed it. This was several days ago. And then Abbott and I guess the Texas Guard or whatever put it back.
You know, I guess this is, I haven't ever really thought about it. I wonder, is the land immediately on the border privately owned? Is it owned by the state of Texas? Because,
like, if it was privately owned, could the landowner just be like, I want razor wire? Right?
Yeah, this is the fence. I'm putting it up. You know, like y'all screw all the way off. Like
it's got to be.
The HOA ain't going to tell me what kind of fence I can put up out here on the.
It's got to be
border of the Rio Grande.
I would assume it has to be like state owned.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
that may be an interesting point because I'm thinking like, hell, I've got fences everywhere.
Yeah,
they won't keep people out for the most part, but but
it's just wild, man. It's wild to me. Well,
it's just so political. Like if you like got Joe Biden off by himself, like and I think this is true of most Democrats. Like they would say, like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have all these illegal people coming in, but it's completely politics. Like if you're a Democrat, you've got to say no, open border. Yeah. Let them come in. Let's you know, we have to be an open door to everybody. No, we don't care if they're terrorists or somebody truly seeking asylum, whatever. And of course you can say the same thing for the right, you know, build that wall, you know.
Well, man, I feel like any really good country has safe borders. I mean, that's kind of, you have to. And
well, I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, or if you don't have any borders,
you really aren't even a country.
Right. Like are you like, it's like saying I'm not going to have property lines. Well, then
where's your property?
You're not a property owner then.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's crazy too, because when you just let them in, and I can't understand because like they're letting them in and I saw a video of this one dude and he was like a tall, like a Arabian looking guy. And actually Mike Glover did a video on it earlier and he's got friends all in the border and all this stuff. And he said that the guy had been arrested previously. I don't remember if it was in the United States or where, but for terrorist activity. And he was telling the person, they were like, who are you? And he said, you'll know who I am. He said, you're going to learn who I am. Like he was making like a ominous threat.
Well, you know, somebody I reference on here quite a bit because I do listen to him.
Elton John.
Yeah. No, Corbett Wall does a feeder flash every day. He said, it's like, these aren't Mexicans that are coming across. All the Mexicans that wanted to come across have been here for decades.
Yeah.
God even might only know where these people are coming from.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of them, like, they are, you know, they're not even from South America. You know, they're
like
or Central America.
Or
right. Yeah. And because they figured out that's the easiest way to get in.
Yep. And they just can walk right in here, man. It's wild.
And right. And the way they're, you know, you see these sanctuary cities and whatnot, the way they're setting up and like, I guess it was in Boston, maybe, like the airport is even like housing like homeless illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's weird because the word illegal is literally in there.
Well, I mean, you notice and somebody like put one of those mashup videos or whatever on social media the other day, how that they've gone away from, now they call them migrants.
Yeah.
But they've slowly tried to manipulate, you know, the whole
make it not
psychology
sound illegal anymore.
Right. Behind it where, they're not illegal aliens or illegal immigrants. They're migrants.
Yeah. And seeing it, and to me, it's a slap in the face to all of the immigrants that did it the right way.
Well, that's the thing. Like, some of the most outspoken people against it
are legal.
Right. Are the Hispanics who came here, went through the whole damn process. I mean, right. I'd be pissed off too.
I would too. Yeah, shit. I think they had to learn quite a bit. Like, if I remember, they got to didn't they have to learn like all the president? They have to learn a lot of American history.
I mean, thankfully, you know, we've been here for many generations, so I'm not entirely sure, but yeah.
I mean, I'd be pissed, and I don't know. Well, what's getting interesting to me is here recently, because I wasn't thinking a lot about it at first, but now Biden has put out this thing where basically Abbott has 24 hours to stand down, and if he doesn't stand down, there will be consequences. I don't know what those are, but what really kind of amped this up is at least 17 states, it may actually even be up to 25 now, have come out in support of Texas. And I was glad because, man, I'll just tell you, old Bill Lee, our governor here, he's really disappointed me quite a bit.
He's disappointed me a few times.
Yeah, but he did come out and they have backed Texas.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was telling Marcy, my wife, she doesn't get into this stuff like I do. I'm like, this is real shit. Like, I'm like, this is pretty crazy. I mean, this could be the start of something. And she's like, I don't care. And I'm like, you gotta care. And she's like, I don't care. But I mean, in the extreme event, hell man, this could be, like a buddy of mine actually said, this could lead to the new South and the new North, is what he called it. He said, I could almost see it. But I'd be curious to know how it'd work, because we've got quite a few northern states, it'd be Northwest, that are also backing Texas. So
and it kind of, as you're looking at that map, you know, it kind of reminded me a little bit of, I might get his last name wrong. I think I've referenced him under that Kurt Schlichter.
Yeah.
Who's written some of those novels that are like,
you told me about those.
We're getting close now to some of the, where he was writing them into the future. You know, It was, you know, at the time they wrote them, it was only like 10, 20 years in the future. And a lot of them are about, you know, there being a split.
Yeah.
You know, they're basically the red states and the blue states.
And that's pretty much what it's looking like.
Right. And yeah, I couldn't help but think like, oh gosh. And you know, I'm not hoping for that at all. I mean, and he even, you know, like in the, you know, foreword or whatever the book, he's like, this is not me hoping for this, wishing for this. It's more of a warning.
Yeah.
Like, this is where I see us going. But anyway, yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for the Civil War? The movie?
No, like there's a new movie.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, unless they're promoting it on social media, I've not seen it. Okay, well,
that's why I was going to say, like, it's not out yet, but
it's an actual, like, real, or is it set in the future, like a futuristic Civil War?
It'd be like right now.
Oh, so it's like a current time. It's not a.
Yeah, no,
it's not a historical look at the actual Civil War. It'd be
if it broke out tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And seeing a lot of people.
I would watch the hell out of that, yeah.
Well, and people are like, this is odd timing. They're like, real odd timing for a Civil War film. And my thoughts on it are kind of mixed, because the trailer, you need to watch the trailer, because it looks really awesome. And actually, Jeff Bosley that I had on Living Fully Loaded, he's in it. Now he told me that he just played, like, he's a soldier or something in it. But I asked him if they liberaled it up real bad, and he was like, I wasn't even allowed to see the script. So he said, I can't tell you. But Nick Offerman, who played Ron Swanson, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He's the president. And so I've got a feeling that because he seems real, like in the trailer, he's very stern. And I got a feeling that they're probably going to make, the gist of it is the president had ordered airstrikes on civilians, and it led to the Civil War. And there's different alliances. There's the Western Alliance, which is the Northwest. That'd be your Montana and all those states. There's the Florida Alliance, or Western Union, and the Florida Alliance. The Florida Alliance is Tennessee, Florida, like it'd be kind of your South. Yeah, and then California is on its own, which I was laughing. I was like, man, they'd get smoked. Like, I know they got a lot of people, but the red people in that state, I feel like they'd bail out and go to, like, probably the Western Union, but or forces, whatever they're called. But either way, it's split up. They have the map of it, and it shows kind of how everything's broke up. It was pretty interesting to see. But in the trailer, it's like some people going into the town, and yeah, it's like just pure chaos. And at one point you see this soldier, he's in like uniform, and he's come up on these people, and they're like, he pulls a gun on him. He's got like his M4 or something pointed at him, and he's like, whoa man, we're Americans. And the soldier goes, what kind of Americans? And they're like, what? And he's like, what kind of Americans? And kind of implying like, you know, it doesn't matter if you're an American anymore. But also at one point it shows a sniper, and he's on the gun, he's looking down the scope, and he has green hair and his fingernails are painted. So I can't tell what is going on with this movie.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. Like, if it's a major Hollywood production.
It is. So they ain't going to paint the right in the good way.
Yeah, exactly. But whatever.
That's what I'm wondering. I'll send you the trailer. Last thing I will add that I'm real torn on is the new Roadhouse trailer.
I did not even know there was a new Roadhouse until I was actually on X earlier today.
That just sounds like a porn site to me.
Yeah, well, and guy commented on it, he's like, I absolutely hate everything about this, but I will absolutely watch it.
That's pretty much how I feel about it.
I haven't watched the new several years old, the new John Wayne.
True Grit.
Yeah, True Grit.
That's pretty good.
The new one?
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
I don't know.
Even my dad was like, "This is good."
I've refused to watch it.
Dad, how dad is diehard John Wayne, and he was like, "This is good.
Yeah,
this is good."
You watch the new Ghostbusters, the whole feminist Ghostbusters?
Yeah. No, I saw it in theaters. No, I did not. I didn't watch the girl one, but I did watch the newest one.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a newest one other than
Dan Aykroyd is in it. Bill Murray, the guy that died, they've got him in it as a ghost. It's pretty awesome.
Dang, man, I'm so far out of the loop.
You are. You need to it's pretty solid. When Dan,
I just knew they did the feminist version of it and it
bombed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shocker.
Thank you, people, for not seeing that one. I am glad that they didn't go see it. I was praying that movie would bomb.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got some listener questions, and I know that was not an ag thing, but it's very relevant right now, guys. It's just wild. We're in some wild times. Okay. Let me see here. My voice is getting raspier and raspier as the night goes on. I've been literally coughing for a month. Okay, I got to try to figure out. I did not delete when we left off on the last one. I think it was this one. Yes. Want more about your product.
Right.
So, all right. Mitch writes in. At first, guys, appreciate you writing in. Please go to talkdirtpodcast.com, our contact page, and submit your questions. Please submit them there because it goes straight to the email. It's easier to keep up with. If you comment on YouTube, we definitely like you to do that, but it's easier to keep up with the questions here. So, all right, Mitch writes, Bobby Lee, ever since I've dealt with cows, I've always heard that cracked corn is better than whole corn because they get more out of it. I've noticed from your YouTube that you feed whole corn. Why is that? Thanks, and both of you keep up the work on your channels. I look forward to watching and listening to the podcast.
Yeah, I get that question.
It's just because he hates his cows. He likes to give them diarrhea.
Right. I get that question pretty routinely. Very, very common one. Makes a lot of sense. So I think that the figure you'll see pretty well across the board is cracked corn or rolled corn, just some type of processed corn, is 10 to 15% more digestible than whole shell corn.
Yeah.
So what you have to ask yourself is, okay, is taking this corn, through the process of processing, worth me getting, having to feed 10 to 15% less, basically.
Yeah.
And the feeding plan I found and have used and have really enjoyed specifically is designed for using whole shell corn, because when you're handling such a small number as me, literally that corn comes straight off the combine into my gravity wagon and into my steers.
Non-GMO, of course.
Right, of course. But no, and so it's literally, it could not be any more convenient of a food source. There were literally one year it was raised just a couple 100 feet from where it passed through the steers.
Yeah.
Now it's just up the road, and so you're right. But they will also tell you, if you research this, because you can Google it. There's all kinds of research papers that come up. So, because you go out to my feed lot right now and you look through the manure, you will find corn. But they say even in those kernels you see, a lot of the starch has been digested. Even though you see the kernel, they've they've gotten the starch out of it. So yeah, if you're feeding, 100,000 head of cattle or whatever, oh yeah, it absolutely makes sense to process it further, just because that 10 to 15% more better feed efficiency is
definitely going to add up.
Huge. Yeah, enormous. But yeah, with a small number like that, we don't have, easy access, to be able to process it that way.
Yeah.
But we have extremely easy access to whole shell corn. That's why we do it. And
what about?
And we of course I don't feed them just straight whole shell corn. You have to add protein supplement.
What about candy corn? What if you wanted to feed them candy corn?
I know you're kind of joking, but I'm sure like there is a way to formulate a ration, because it's very commonplace for
fatten them up a little bit.
Well, and we've talked about it on here. Different using different byproducts and like spoiled or batches of
like
food
the
for human
leftover
consumption. Don't
after whiskey or not whiskey but beer.
Oh yeah, well grains. Yeah, distiller grains are very common, but you'll hear every now and then where there'll be a huge batch of, from some candy manufacturing facility. Something's not quite right.
Yeah.
And if there's enough of it, like some of these big outfits, that they'll get a couple of truckloads of whatever candy, hard candy or whatever, and they'll have a nutritionist formulate how it can work. Huh. There was actually a farm, I don't know if we ever discussed it on here, Sharky interviewed them on Shark Farmer podcast. They're in Las Vegas, or like just on the suburbs of Las Vegas, and they go around to all the casinos, I guess primarily probably the buffets, and take all the food waste and feed it to their animals.
Really?
Yep.
Do they have hogs?
I don't remember what all they have. I'm pretty sure, yes, they do have hogs. I don't know if anything, but like some stuff, and that was an example. It was some type of like candy, and they had it was like an enormous amount of it. So it was taking them a long time to go through it because they could only put so much in their ration.
Yeah.
But they watch it very closely. And I'm like, that is fantastic. People want to demonize animal agriculture.
Great recycling of.
Oh yeah. You're taking literal, you're keeping food out of a landfill, and not only are you keeping it out of the landfill, you're turning it back into food.
And actually good food.
It's not even recycling, it's upcycling.
Yeah. You're taking sugar and things that generally are unhealthy and turning them into meat.
Right, because you have to be careful. Like there's certain things like you can't feed to animals, but
well, that's what I'm wondering.
That was super neat.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like on the food byproduct side, like I could see candy, but see like chickens. Man, chickens are great because they'll eat meat and everything. Like I don't know if people realize, like we had a honey baked ham, and we had it around Christmas. We ate as much of it as we could, and it was kind of getting towards the end of the line on the date. So I just chunked what was left in here with the chickens, which they're funny because it was a big like hunk of ham, and they wouldn't go near it for like 2 days. And it was when it was really cold, so it wasn't like getting funky. Like it was below freezing. It was during all this snow crap, but I had chunked it in there. And after one of them finally went over there and I guess started pecking at it, dude, it's a bone. Like it's just a bone left in there. They literally picked the ham.
That's when
clean.
You make you a big pot of beans and just throw the whole ham bone in there. That's what we do.
Yeah. Oh well, they literally picked the bone clean, and that's what like. Any of our leftover, dude, and somebody might be like, you're not supposed to give chickens that. Pizza, they love pizza. Like, we'll have pizza leftovers. We chunk it in there. They will devour pizza.
Well, I've gotten to do more composting lately, but used to, we took all our fruit and vegetable scraps to the chickens.
Yeah.
And, then they just turned it into chicken shit, and then I use that for fertilizer. But, here lately, I've just been using all my vegetable fruit, eggshells, coffee, all that. Yeah, I just put that into my compost
I got to do
bucket.
that. We've been saving our eggshells. Chickens are finally laying again.
Damn it, I think I'm out of chickens now.
Well, I saw where your wife was on the prowl for some.
Well, and we had two that wanted to quit roosting in their little house, but they were roosting like in the barn in a pretty good spot. I was like, I don't think anything can get them there.
Something got them.
Well, and then this morning, I usually let them out, let them free range during the day. Tonight when I got home and I go over there and I shut the door and check and they're in there. They weren't in there.
Oh, dang.
So something got them during the daylight today.
Dang. Man, you've had a time with some chickens.
Yeah. And which now I'm like, well, dang, do I want to get more?
Yeah.
I got to figure out what's catching them and killing them.
Dude, knock on wood, I've not had anything attack these. Now, I will say one of the best things I think in there is my rooster.
Oh, yeah.
Old Buzzard is what I call him. And he's like, he's chill, man. I had that one rooster that the woman like brought to me. Now you remember that, don't you?
I think I remember you talking about that.
She was my neighbor over there, and she couldn't catch this rooster, and she was like, "It keeps getting out." And she was like, "If I catch it, will you take it?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll take it." So she brought it over here, and he was an ass. A lot of them are. Oh, he was terrible. Like the kids would go in there, he'd like flog them and chase them, and so I like punted him like away from them, and then finally Bennett was still working for us at the time. Shout out Bennett, listens here. And I'm curious, Ben. I need to know if this rooster's still around. But I just finally was like, "You want a freaking rooster?" And he was like, "Yeah." So we gave it to him. And he took it. But
that's what usually happens. They get mean, and they'll one time, I was walking away from their pen. I'd like fed them or something. And something like hit me in the back of the leg, and I was like, "What?" I turned around, that little bastard was right there. I was like, "No, no, sir." Like, and
did y'all eat it?
I think something ate it. I don't think it was me.
Okay, I thought you might have put it out and ate it.
I've killed some of them and eaten them, but Lord, by the time you scald them and pluck them, it's
not much left.
More work than it's worth. But
yeah,
we had a little banny rooster that our neighbors gave us. Same thing. It was like they didn't need him, and he was actually really friendly. Like we liked him. He was the only chicken that had a name. And dadgummit, one night I forgot to shut their little door. And hell, I was proud of him because he was the only one that died. I was like, he laid down his life for his hens. I was sad for him, and but then apparently whatever got him that night has been picking them off.
Yeah,
1 and 2 at a time since then.
Well, that's what I feel like. Old Buzzard must keep them pretty safe out here.
I always figure raccoons are the worst.
Yeah,
it might be a fox or something else, but
yeah. Well, Mitch, we appreciate you writing in. If you got any more questions, don't hesitate to send them in. All right, let's see. Okay, this guy writes in, Rob. He writes in, he said, "I'm a regular listener on today's podcast talking about horsepower boots." Who was that, Justin?
No, horsepower is the made in China Anderson bean.
All right, see, he said he thinks they're made in Mexico.
Okay.
He said, "I am pretty sure they're made in Mexico and not China."
Okay, that's a pretty big difference.
That is, because like I said, Leon, Mexico.
Because they are cheap, they're compared to the real made in Mercedes, Texas Anderson beans.
Well, and the Leon, Mexico, I don't know if that's the part of Mexico they're made in, but that's kind of like the boot hub. Like it's supposed to be, that's where Tacovas and a lot of them are made. I'm
going to look them up. Right. Yeah, we'll go ahead.
All right. Rob, appreciate you writing in. Yeah, we got to check that out, man. I would feel much better putting on some boots made in Mexico than China. That's for darn sure. All right, next question comes in from Kyle. Kyle Hanks. He says, "Hello from your long-lost kin from the north. I really enjoy the podcast. I'm 33 years old and farm with my wife and brother-in-law in north central Illinois. We row crop corn and soybeans, do some custom farming, and my wife and I have a small freezer beef business. I have a question for both of you. How many Hanks out there do you think also farm?" Well, I know of at least one for sure. Actually, I know of two.
Oh, I imagine there's a bunch out there that we don't know of.
Yeah. I can think of two. There's one pretty local, and there's one kind of probably near Jackson area or somewhere, I think. So I know of at least two there that farm. Can you think of any others?
Oh man, you would probably know more than I would, but
and Drew would fall into that category. He's another Hanks farm, so there's three. Got some cattle.
But just think about all the Hankses we don't know.
I know, and that's a lot. That's what I mean. We always joke. Tom Hanks is actually our cousin, so we're spread out pretty far. And I don't think Tom is doing much farming.
No, I don't think he does. You never know those celebrities. they might have them a small little homestead.
They might, and Tom, he would definitely have the funds to make that a reality. So, well, Kyle, we appreciate you writing in, man.
Yeah, I see here. I finally found it on some of the Anderson beans. Said they're made in Leon, Mexico.
Leon, Mexico, man. Yeah, that's supposed to be a very good place to have boots made.
Have a little more respect for the horsepower line from Anderson Bean now.
There you go.
I would still prefer the Mercedes Texas versions, but yeah.
And with a name, it kind of it made me sad with a name like Horsepower to be made in China. That just made me sad.
I think it may have been because I've got my Tony Llamas are made in the USA, and Tony Llama had a spinoff line at one time, and they were a lot cheaper. And I was like, well, I'm gonna buy a pair of those just for work boots. They weren't even like it was shameful that they put the Tony Llama name on them.
Yeah,
I was like, this is.
They just did that to try to go after that other market.
Yeah, that demographic that's only going to spend $125 on a pair of boots.
Is it Rebel boots that's like really cheap? They're like $80 for a pair of boots.
I don't know.
I think I've seen the ad pop up, and I've heard of some people that have worn them, and they're like, man, you get a good year out of them. I'm like, man, it's just I just don't want to. I don't want to do it.
Shoot, which I don't wear, and I've got too many pairs of cowboy boots, so.
Man, I don't know
even if I wore a pair every day, I wouldn't wear them a whole lot. But like my made in USA, nice Tony Llamas, my wife bought for me when I graduated veterinary school. I've had them almost 15 years.
Yeah.
And they could probably use new sole, new heel. But I mean, they're not worn out by any means.
You got any Lucchese's?
I do.
How many pair of them you got?
Just one.
Yeah. I don't. That's one.
They're like my church boots. Wear to a wedding boots, that like get dressier than I normally even get. I probably only wear them 3 or 4 times a year.
Are they black?
No, mine are like brown or tan, ostrich.
I've got a real problem, man. I got a guns and cowboy boots is like,
yeah.
I mean, that's just my problem and Tacovas was a really bad thing for me because they're actually really high quality boots, but they eliminated the middleman, so you can get them for about half the price of like Lucchese, and now they've really hurt me because they've gotten into the exotics pretty good. And I mean, I'm sitting here wearing my retro rifle shirt. Like I like some loud stuff, and man, dude, and I don't get to bust them out a lot, but I bought some actual Python. They had some Python boots, and they are black and white, and I just feel like. Dude, I feel like I could curb stomp a man in them boots. Like
you're in Roadhouse.
Dude, exactly. Like I wore them. We had a church, like our church did this Christmas thing at the Ruffin Theater. And I wore a suit because it's, I don't get to dress up very often. So I had on my black suit. I was like blacked out. And I put on the old Pythons, and like the dudes my age and into like, there was one guy that was like 50. And he was like, those boots are sick, man. He was like, those are sick. And then his daughter actually, she comes in, she's like 18, and she goes, those boots are horrible. And I said, your dad actually complimented me on these. And she was like, no wonder he did. And I'm like, I guess I'm old, but I'm digging it.
I'm at a point now where the more people like insult what I'm wearing, I take it as a compliment.
Oh yeah, man. I mean,
when I was a kid, and this would have been like 90s, maybe early 90s, I remember, and of course they weren't real snakeskin, but everybody had snakeskin boots.
Yes.
I remember I had like little kitty versions, and
yep.
I mean that was the thing. Like nowadays, ostrich seems to be kind of the if you're gonna do anything exotic, everybody's got a pair of ostrich boots, but like snakeskin was the thing.
I still, man, it's just something about them. Like I have some black, like lizard that I like.
Yeah.
And I've got some tan, like lizard something with the snip toe. And I really like those, but it's just something about it, man. You bust out the Pythons, because you just they're loud. I mean, it's black and white, and that's how I was. I mean, Dad, I remember he had an old pair of like the snakeskin boots. And Well, I mean, when I put them on, I'm not even a smoker, but I just want a Marlboro Red. Like I want to have one on, and I want to ride up on a Harley. Like it just you want to. So hey, comment. That's what I want to think. Comment on our YouTube or write in. I want to hear. Or you got a soft spot for the snake skins? You know, what's your thoughts on some loud cowboy boots? I can't have enough. I mean, they are kind of like guns to me. I just can't have enough boots. But comment that. Let us know your take on the cowboy boots. All right. Next question or write-in comes from Greg. Greg. He writes, the Semi 07 and new has DEF and pre-2000 engine don't require an ELD logbook. Love the podcast. Do you do grid sampling on your crop ground? Thoughts on it? First off, yeah, I was thinking, I knew on like the service trucks, 07 was when the DEF stuff started, but I wasn't sure on the semis, but that would make sense. But yeah, his was an 06, so it was right before the DEF and all that got on there. And the 2000 engine don't require a logbook. Man, that'd make like a 96 model 379 very valuable. Which I had, the one I had was a 97, I think, model. Still kick myself over that one.
Yeah.
But, all right, well, appreciate you writing that in. And then on the grid sampling, to be honest, I'm trying to think how they do it. They've got a machine.
Yeah, I guarantee yours is gridded.
But I wish I could think of the name of the machine they use. But all of my farms are sampled, and it's pretty meticulous. And actually, I'm meeting with the agronomist crew, I think next Friday, and we are going to actually go over every farm. And I'm going to set out goals for each individual farm. And I've been really happy with
350 bushel corn.
That's right.
115 bushel beans.
115 bushel beans. I figured I'd go on the low side, shoot for 115. But we're going to try to break down every single farm. And again, I'm in a hell of a program. It's called High Ground. I've been really happy with it. And it's like we track it year over year. It's actually why I would consider going to a green planter, honestly, because it would sync up everything so much better. Ideally, I would track my planting. When I say track it, I mean, I'd actually map it out. Like I would be able to print out maps of when I planted it, the rate on every acre. It would tell me what my population was actually putting out. Like you set it on the planter, but it's going to vary a little bit as you're planting. And I would map it out there. I'd even map it out spraying, and then I'd map it out in the harvest. You could compile all that data, and then you can variable rate everything. So I'm a believer in sampling. I'm a huge believer in it. We even do tissue sampling throughout the year. So like as the crop's growing, they'll pull some tissue samples on it and then tailor, all right, you need to add some more of this or add some of that. So yeah, I'm a believer in it. You do any grid sampling on your cattle?
Well, and actually that kind of reminded me, I need to text my guy at Helena because I feel like they forgot about me. I talked to him several months ago about coming out and pulling some samples because I know I need lime on one farm.
Man, damn, lime is high as hell.
Okay, maybe I don't. This farm's only, I mean.
What'd you do, about 23 acres? Or would you lime? So, I'm thinking of your bottom ground over there.
Oh, no, this is the farm, the Gilt Edge.
Gotcha. It'd be a good bit more than that.
So it's probably 75, 80 acres open ground.
Yeah.
Maybe about half that they'd feel comfortable getting a spreader on.
Well, they might put one on it. Now it might barrel roll a few times.
I hope they got a cowboy driving it.
Yeah. Well, they got one guy that probably would. Yeah.
But yeah, like we were all in contact back in the fall. I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it, and then I kind of forgot about it, and
I've
had some other expenses come up, whatnot. I'm like, I might not need to spend that money, and but yeah, now I hate that we didn't get it done before it started setting into being so.
I think you're looking at now. Obviously, it depends on the rate, but I want to say it's about $50 an acre.
Okay, well. So even on 80 acres, that'd only be what, $4,000?
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe I'm off. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's about $50 an acre.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit there and pretend like I wipe my ass with $4,000, but
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it actually might be more than that. It would be more than that. I'll tell you off air.
they got to come and sample it
Yeah.
first, and then because I pulled my own samples in the past,
Yeah.
and just sent them into the state lab because it's actually free. I think send them into the state lab.
Oh, really? I've never done that.
No, it's not. I'm an idiot. I think, but it's dirt cheap. I mean, haha.
Dirt cheap. Yeah.
Talk dirt to me. I'm sending them dirt, and it's dirt cheap. Yeah. But there we go.
All right. Appreciate you writing in. Here goes our next one. Richard writes in, "Hey guys, love the podcast. It makes the drive." Actually, this one came in today at 4:22. Man, you getting the good treatment today.
He was burning one.
He was. Hey guys, love the podcast. It makes the drive from Texas to North Dakota for work bearable. Damn, that'd be a long ass drive.
I bet he's in the oil field.
He said, first question, Bobby Lee. Well, actually, hey, let us know. Write in. What do you do? Because that's a drive. First question, Bobby Lee. What is the fly spray you use after castrating, and is it an antiseptic as well? If not, what would you use alongside this fly spray?
No, it is just a fly spray. I believe it is Catron.
DEET. 100% DEET.
I can tell you exactly what it is. Look it up here. Catron 4, I guess.
Sounds like a cyborg.
Catron, I'll tell you exactly what the active ingredient is here in a second. It's like an aerosol. It is.
Permethrin.
Yep. You knew it.
There you go. Yep.
Right. There's not that much difference. Yeah, it's just aerosol. That's all we put on there.
Is that the blue spray?
No.
What was that blue shit you spray on there?
I don't know. There's the purple wound spray and stuff like that.
So it was probably an antiseptic.
Yeah, something along those lines. But yeah, it's just fly spray. And of course, like if I'm castrating them right now, I'm not putting that on there. But because flies aren't an issue. But
so now so your fly spray, what was the name of it?
Catron.
Catron. All right.
Catron 4. Roman numerals.
Yeah. So
IV, Catron IV.
Catron IV. What would you use an antiseptic?
We don't.
Okay.
No.
All right. That's what he asked there.
I'm making sure I'm, fairly clean, with everything else we're doing. But
yeah. All right.
We do like to give a tetanus, in our vaccine, which right now is tough because normally our clostridial vaccine or black leg, as a lot of people refer to it, we like to use the Covaxin 8 because it includes tetanus in there. It is like indefinitely back ordered.
Yeah.
Like I even contacted Merck, who's the manufacturer there, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't know when we'll have it again."
Yeah.
Like that's not like you're the manufacturer. How can you not tell me
at least some sort of timeline here?
Like we're never bringing it back.
Yeah.
We hope to bring it back, but we're having trouble with some of the raw materials, maybe by early 2025. Or like, that vaccine wasn't worth a damn anyway. Why do you, you make it and you can't tell me anything other than we have no idea. Like that's
a pretty lame response.
Make something up.
Yeah.
Like that would make you seem more competent than just to say, yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. Maybe they're just being honest.
I mean, if my supplier said that, I'd be like, okay, well, let me go to the source. No, I went to the source. They were like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's like, are you working on it? You making it? I don't know.
That's like when I asked my wife, something, I'm like, well, just give me just a wild estimate. Like, I'm not going to hold you to it. Like, just say something.
Don't know.
Yep.
Don't know. All right. The other part to the question, the second question. Bobby Lee, have you ever thought about buying corn, soybeans, etc. from Logan and other farmers in the area to mix your own feed ration? I know there would be some upfront costs like a feed mixer or somewhere to store the commodities, but I think it could be cheaper in the long run buying in bulk from the local guys, cutting out the middleman. Heck, you might even get Logan to give you a family discount, LOL. Keep up the good work, guys, and F Joe Biden.
Well, I mean, that's like for what the corn like that I'm feeding to my feeder steers, that's what I do.
Yep.
I don't buy it from Logan. He charges too much.
Yeah. But, I don't have the good fancy bin set up over there.
Yeah, that is legitimately the reason Logan doesn't have storage.
You could do, I will never forget one of the first years I grew corn on my farm where we're putting the store. I was on the side of like right across from, I was right on Drummond's Road, and I had shelled out an area, and this truck pulls in, and I'm shelling, and Dad is actually shelling out the same farm. And the guy flags Dad down on his combine, and he asks him something. Dad comes over the radio, and he says, "Hey, this guy he just wants you to fill the back of his truck up with corn." And I said, "What?" And he was like, he just said he needs a truckload of corn. And he was like, just said, and I was like, hell, I don't even know how many bushels that'd be. And Dad was like, I don't either. But he was like, you just tell him a price. He said he just needs a truckload of corn. So literally, I like pulled over there and I put my combine auger out, and it was actually kind of tricky because he was in like a 2-wheel drive truck, so it was a big difference from the height.
Yeah.
And I turned my auger on and literally just filled the bed of his truck up with corn, and he was like, "Thanks, man." And I just told him, I said, he paid me, and I said, "And bring me some of the moonshine you make from this." And he was like, "Shit, I wish I knew how to make moonshine." He has horses apparently, and like,
yeah.
I don't know if he's making feed, but he came back. We've done it a couple times. Like,
it's been a while. Like, I have had it, come straight out of the grain buggy and, into my old feed bins. And now I got that gravity wagon. And I always say, like, I need to pull the gravity wagon when they're actually in the field, and that would eliminate the step of having to get out of the grain bin. And I just never do.
Yeah.
It's timing's not ever perfect for me. But, now I do that. And I have had people point out, like, well, you're feeding that corn and the protein mix to your finishing steers, and I give my cows that are on pasture, they get about, maybe 3 pounds per head per day of feed right now.
Yeah.
Same to my yearlings. And I get a mixed ration. We're getting it from Co-op right now. One of our other local feed mills quit doing it, but, somebody point out, why don't you just do that too? And I'm like, well, I could. It is really convenient with Co-op. Like, I call them and they bring it, and it's, it is a custom made ration. It's not just the corn. I don't know. If I was really to put the pencil to it, it might make more sense to do it that way. Then I've still got to get the corn there, and like right now for my steers, it's easy because I just pull the gravity wagon.
Yep.
I've got, storage in my other bins. That's a little trickier because we've run into that in the past whenever I would put corn in my bins. It's hard to get that corn in the bins. The grain buggies aren't made to unload into there.
Yep.
We would use a seed tender.
Yeah, even that was kind of
a
little hairy.
It was a pain in the ass. Like, it was totally doable. It was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
That's why I got that gravity wagon. I was like, look, I'll just go get this thing filled up and I'll just back it into the barn.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good question that I don't know have a perfect answer to.
Your wife wants me to help get you to stop spending so much money. So then if we could do that, see, that would cut down on some costs for you potentially.
Yeah.
She wants you to stop buying new equipment, which I did tell her. I was
I hate to tell her, but I think I might have bought a truck today.
Oh man. Well, see, and I told her, I responded to her, and it's like, I'm probably a bad influence when it comes to that.
Well, I've been kind of telling her, I was like, I found this truck.
What is it?
And we've been watching rodeo on TV every night. We got the Cowboy Channel app. That's why I don't know anything else that's going on in pop culture, because we turn on the TV, it's just the Cowboy Channel.
Well, that's good.
And it's always Ram trucks are a sponsor. And my son said, Daddy, you need to get a Ram truck.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't have a lot of brand loyalty to any of the three major ones.
So did you get a Ram?
I mean, I hadn't finally. I talked to him today. It's one I've been looking at for probably 3 or 4 weeks.
1 ton?
Yeah, it is a 1 ton.
Got the bale bed on it?
Yeah, it's got a different. It doesn't have the arm bed like my other one did. It's actually just got a spike.
Okay.
So you can only pick up one on the back of it. So that's like, it's not perfect, but it's about half the miles of every other truck I was looking at for about the same price range.
4-wheel drive?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that you'll ever see a bale bed of any kind on a 2-wheel drive, because like, how else do you get that thing like, especially on days like today, like you ain't getting that thing in a pasture with 2-wheel drive.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
well,
it's pretty much, it's everything I want. Doesn't have the exact bed, but I'm like, but it's also a whole lot lower mile. Again,
Yeah,
that's the big thing. I'm like, man, that
lasts
thing's
longer too.
like the more miles that I put on one, that'll last till I just don't want it anymore. Basically,
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. Well, I mean,
so
we've been happy.
nothing final on that. I talked to them today. It's a big dealership. They got several locations. They're on the call. Like, it's actually another location. We'll call. And I was like, all right, yeah, whatever. And it was already it was after lunch. Like, we'll get back with you first thing in the morning. Like, all right.
Yeah. Well, we've been happy with the Rams. That's what we got out here. I still love my Duramax, but we've been happy with the Ram. Richard, we appreciate you writing in, man. We always appreciate the support. Don't hesitate to write into us. All right. The last one. And then we're caught up. Perfect, because it's right here at the end of the episode. Colby writes in, love the show, guys, as well. Love the show, guys, as well as both your YouTube channels. Could y'all discuss the equipment involved in filming and editing content needed for starting a YouTube channel?
For starting an iPhone.
I was going to say, you can start with your cell phone. Man, these things actually...
I did every bit of my filming and editing from my iPhone for probably the first 6 months I did YouTube.
I was going to say, for a while.
Before I ever used any kind of a computer. And then the first computer I used was like a refurbished one from my kids' school. Like, that they get rid of at the end of the school year because, that they're going to get new ones. And then I finally bought a GoPro, which a GoPro's, heck, you can get on YouTube and buy, or not YouTube, eBay and buy like 3 or 4 generations ago of a GoPro for like $200.
I was going to say cheap. Even a new GoPro is like $400, $500. They're not
I was
bad.
actually looking at them the other day. I was just bored and like, what are the new version? And like, I think the new ones, even if you get like the package, like for the creator edition or whatever, it's like $450.
Yeah.
But I've got 2 that work right now, and one of mine's like 4 or 5 generations back.
Yeah.
What's annoying is they change the batteries every couple of generations.
Annoying, yeah.
And so I have to have one type of battery for one, and I've got like 4 of those because I've had a couple of those, like one I ran over with a tractor.
Yeah,
so
that'll do it.
I've got a lot of extra batteries for that model.
Yeah.
But then when I got a new one, it has an entirely different battery system. And they're like, oh, this battery's better. I'm sure it is, but
yeah,
it's not compatible with any of my old batteries.
Well, I'll tell you, like, I was looking here, which I'm a Samsung guy when it comes to phones because of the camera, almost more than anything. And like, I can video, this is a Galaxy 22. That's 8K. It has 8K capability now.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't really either, but there's Ultra HD, which I'm assuming is probably 4K. FHD, full HD, that'd probably be 1080, I'm assuming. Ultra HD, I'm going to say, is probably 4K. And then 8K is literally like cinematic. Like if you were to set up, have lighting, it'd be like cinematic. This actually, my phone is probably a better camera than even the camera we're videoing on at this point. Like that camera, I think, is 4K. But you could start with a cell phone, and they got the face mode, and I don't know. I was going to see what rate you could do. See, it even has Ultra HD, so I mean, you could film from your phone with the camera facing you now, and it's HD. So the big thing is just to get started.
Yeah, and I would say, it's like anything. You can make it as complicated and as complex as you want, and I still use the iMovie software. That's the app or whatever that comes on your iPhone or on your like Mac computer.
Yeah.
Like the most basic editing software ever. But I actually saw somebody that I follow online that they were like sharing a picture of them like editing, and they were using it. And
that made you feel better.
Well, this is somebody that has like 10 times the subscribers I do. I was like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But I follow the keep it simple,
Well, see, I'm
principle there.
That's where I do
basic editing software.
I go off the rails on that side a little bit. I got all the Adobe Creative,
and I just haven't taken the time to learn or even explore that. But
well, it is complicated.
I will tell you this: if you like, I bought at the time, it was the newest generation of the GoPro, like an 11 or 10 or something, and my old little cheap computer that I got that was like refurbished from the school, couldn't handle like the video editing, quality, like,
exporting it probably.
Yeah, like it just like it couldn't handle it, and so I went ahead and I did. Which by this time my YouTube was generating me a little income, and so I was like, okay, I can justify this, and I went ahead and bought not a just badass processing computer, but a good MacBook, whatever.
My MacBook's probably the most expensive part I've had to put into the video.
Oh yeah, mine's definitely, because I mean the GoPro camera is only like $400, and so and I have bought, well, after I ran over and smashed one, and that was kind of my backup camera at the time. I was like, well, all right, I just need like my secondary camera that I use for more like B-roll type stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need the newest, greatest one of those. So I bought a used camera off eBay.
Yeah.
But I can tell a difference in the audio between my newest version GoPro and my older one.
I can see because I've been using both of my GoPros here lately, and I've got what is the new one? Hero 10 or something?
I think they're up to like the 12.
Okay, I've got one
Mine
of the
is a 10 or 11, and then I think I've got an 8.
Yeah, I bought the little
you
cinematic.
can tell a little difference.
Yeah, like it's kind of, the lighting is a little different, and it just kind of looks a little crisper. But that's what I would say. Like equipment, I would encourage you, start with your phone, find out if you even like it, and then I would go GoPro, and like for what I do a mix of day to day, and then I'll do somewhere I'm sitting in here and going over prices and stuff.
And too, unless you're like, I've already been talking on camera and doing stuff, or unless you're just like very uniquely talented, they're going to be painful at first.
Oh, like first, I don't even think it matters how good you are. The first videos are going to be, rough.
I would. I mean, they're not going to be very good. I mean, that's mine weren't anyway. Like I go back and watch them, I'm like, oh my god. And I still say too much, but I was like, dear Lord Jesus, you needed like a clicker to count how many times I was saying in those first few videos. But as I say there. Oh
hell, I'd say it too. But the biggest thing is consistency, and that's where
Bobby, I was gonna say, get into it, start simple. Like I say, I was 6 months into it, and by the time I was like, all right, I am going to keep doing this. I remember when I bought the first GoPro, I was like, dang, do I really want to spend this money?
Yeah.
And now it seems silly that $300.
Well, and just have fun with it. That's the biggest thing. Like Bobby Lee, I'll tell you where you knocked it out is consistent as hell, and it just built your channel.
Consistent and be yourself, like.
Yeah,
because I watch a lot of other YouTube channels, and I do pick up on stuff they do, but I'm not like, I'm just me. Like if I'm trying to be somebody else, like I'm gonna look fake as hell.
Yeah.
Because different channels have different things that work. Some people are really flamboyant, and that's them, and it works, and they get a huge following from it. I can't do that.
I'm no Cole the Corn Star.
That's exactly who I was thinking of. He is awesome, but it's like, buddy, I could not do that. No. I hadn't watched him in a while.
I hadn't either, but some of his, he gets pretty flamboyant.
He is over the top.
Yeah, and that's where I'm not that way either. But I try to be charismatic, and that's where you want to do it, and then think about, if you were to watch it, is it boring? And actually, do you feel bored doing it? If you feel bored filming it, it's going to be boring for people to watch. But just do it. And, the equipment side, I mean, ultimately you spend as much as you want to spend. I mean, this camera right here, what we record on in here, I've got a stationary camera. I bought this, I guess probably when I started living fully loaded. That camera was like $2,000 when I bought that. And it's still, I mean, our YouTube videos, I think they look great, but it's an HD camera. At this point, that camera would be outdated. Like, that's an outdated camera.
Oh yeah.
And it's 3 or 4 years old now, but it does great for what we need it to do. And that's what I would do. I would just get started with your phone and upload, and just pick a time and consistently. That's what, see, I'm trying now to, and this is where like I say, man, you can tell with your channel, you have a built audience. Like, you put up a video, you're going to get several thousand views, like pretty much guaranteed on your videos. You got people, they expect these videos come out. And that's where, man, I fumbled and beat around the bush on LH Farms. Like, I would go through a spurt of posting videos, and I had the really big thing that helped me was when we broke the trailer in half, and that video just took off.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of subscribers, but I really don't have a built audience.
Well, that's the thing. Like when something bad goes wrong,
it's gold for YouTube.
Well, and I'm still not great at it. I mentioned this before, but it's like, okay, like, this might be a mistake that's going to cost me $2,000, but this video might end up being worth $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally might. And
we have mentioned it so many times. If I could have videoed Bobby Lee getting clobbered by that bull,
and that didn't monetarily cost me anything. Now I limped around for a month,
but you'd have made some money off of that one. That would have been freaking gold.
I would go ahead and say, because I've had some videos that have done really good. That would have outdone everything.
My dad, I was telling him, and he was like, "Tell him to get back in there and let it hit him again."
Well, so that's the thing. When you stage something like that, it's going to look staged as hell.
Yes.
It's going to look like the reality TV you see on TV, where it's and
Well, that's what I'll sum it up real quick for you. Start with your phone, shoot some videos, upload them. Don't worry about the views. Don't worry about anything. Just kind of upload them, and then if you find that you really like it, I would say get you a GoPro.
Just keep at it. You got to keep at it, keep at it. And then all of a sudden one day you're going to realize, wow, that video got 100 views, right away. And then all of a sudden they're going to be getting 1,000 views. And then before you know it, it just keeps going from there.
Yep.
Social media is a weird thing, how some stuff will just all of a sudden take off. And I don't have a good explanation for it. That's why I still have a relatively small channel. I mean, but just consistency. That's the one thing everybody tells me. And so that's what I keep doing.
Yep. Yeah. There you go. Guys, we appreciate your questions. Feel free to write in any question you have. TalkDirtPodcast.com. Go to the contacts page and write in there. Hey, if you have some guest recommendations, submit those. And I even got to thinking what I think would be cool is just to kind of even change up the game a little bit. I'd like to have some of the people from these companies that we've highlighted on the show.
Oh yeah.
Like
if we could get them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's I don't know what hat. No, I don't have his hat on. The half-face blades guy. I think we might could pull him on here. He's not a farmer, but I'm like, his company, we've mentioned his knives. And that's where I'd like to know if we could pull some guests that are actually outside of the ag sector, but they're American made and we've highlighted them. Would you want to hear some of their stuff on here as well? And I was thinking we could still do kind of a regular segment and then have them on for a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just ideas. Love to write in. Let us know what you think. I'd like to hear y'all's thoughts. So you got it tonight?
I can do one.
All right. I still got to get it on the board.
2 words. Made in America.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do a shameless self-plug tonight.
All right. What you got?
So, and it's actually 2 different companies. One is a buddy of mine, Cody, at Tipton Tactical.
Okay.
They, it's just a cool store. They sell ammo. Not selling any guns currently. I don't know if they will or won't in the future. But my most recent hats I had made for Hurricane Creek Farms.
Yeah.
Made them for me. You can go to hurricanecreek.farm, pick you out one.
Yeah.
But great local business, good dude. Making those hats. And it's a Richardson hat. So, of course, the hat's made in Bangladesh.
I don't think you can hardly find an American made hat.
American made ball cap you're not going to find. But he makes the patches, applies them to the hats. You buy a hat from me, you're supporting him too.
Okay.
A local business. The other one is our shirts. And they're not quite as local. They're still in Tennessee, but it's HD Inc. They're in Middle Tennessee.
Gotcha. Nice.
But that's actually somebody they had reached out to me on YouTube like, hey, my wife makes shirts. And so I got him to make me, actually he made some shirts for the vet clinic was the first thing. He made me a couple of farm shirts, but I wasn't going to sell shirts. I didn't get him to make any for that. But then we bought a bunch of shirts that his wife made for the vet office. And then he recently he's like, well, actually my wife went to work for another place that makes shirts. But anyway, HD Inc. I can't remember exactly where they're located, but they're in Middle Tennessee. It's kind of southern middle.
Okay. Yeah.
they've made my most recent Hurricane Creek Farm shirts, which are also on hurricanecreek.farm. That's just 2 local businesses. And again, same thing, like the shirt is like made in Nicaragua or whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But they're doing the screen printing and all right here in Tennessee. So,
well, heck yeah.
that was 2 I'd written down. I was like, that'll be.
What's your website?
hurricanecreek.farm.
.farm.
How cool is that?
That
like,
is.
How many .farm websites do you
How'd
know
you
of?
get that?
I have no idea. My wife did it.
Okay.
Like I didn't even know .farm was a thing.
I didn't either. I just knew .com.
Hurricane. Well, I mean, there's .org and .gov.
Yeah.
And,
You didn't do .gov? I feel like that'd have been better for you.
I don't know if they would. Yeah. But,
Well, there you go. Go check those out. Get you shirts. I still got to get a shirt. I haven't got a Hurricane
Well, yeah.
Creek shirt.
So you know what? Probably an extra large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll buy one. I don't want one for free. You don't ask. You never do that.
I'll bring you one. Hell, I've got a bunch of Living Fully Loaded shirts. I don't think I ever paid for.
That don't matter.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing about it. I was like, man, I need to give this person a shirt. I need to give that person a shirt. But yeah, anybody can have one. You go on there. I think we got it set up where, how do I have it set up? I think you spend $50, you get free shipping.
Okay. There you go.
I think shirts are $25, hats are $25.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
It is.
I don't know how long I'm going to keep doing that. Damn it. I think, what's the website is it Shopify?
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, selling merch, unless you're like a huge website.
It's a pain in the ass.
Well, that's why we're not selling merch.
Yeah.
It's a money losing proposition because
it is.
you make if I'm selling a $25 shirt, you know, I'm making a few dollars off of it.
And then shipping tears your ass to pieces.
Well, right. Because then if they spend $50, I'll ship it for free. And that's fine. But then there's a monthly subscription that I have to pay to Shopify.
Yeah.
It's like, God dang, you know, I need to sell like, you know, 2 dozen items a month just to cover that cost. And I don't do that. It's like, all right.
Yeah,
it's kind of an excuse for me to keep like getting cool stuff made. Like I
do a limited drop or something.
Right. Well, I can't keep affording to have hats made.
Yeah.
Just for myself and just to give away. So if I somehow come close to breaking even, like, okay.
Yeah. That's how, when I did the store with Living Fully Loaded, I sold quite a bit of shirts, especially my, like, if it bleeds, we can kill it shirt. Like that one's just about sold out, but I didn't actually make a profit. I don't think I ever made a profit on them. Like you gotta really move some merch, I feel like, to make a profit. And I just mailed 3 hats out today of our hats and koozies. Had some people write in. Actually, Marcus, give you a shout out, man. I'm repping the hat here. You know, I had told Bobby Lee I was jealous of his hat that you had given him, and then you hooked me up. Your hat has been mailed. I think I was supposed to mail it like 2 weeks ago, but it has been mailed.
Last week wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't. The post office was literally shut down like all week. So
that's what I had somebody just bought some stuff off the website the other day, and I threw the like. Do you get an email every morning from the post office that shows you what mail is coming to your house? I think I do, because at one point when we had to get our mail forwarded when we moved, and so every morning I get them. But it also shows my outgoing, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
It's also kind of scary that the government has this much. But like it knows the packages that I'm mailing out from my Hurricane Creek Farms Shopify. And I'm like, how does it know that?
Yeah.
Like, and so it shows like something I mailed like on Saturday is just now, like it's still in Memphis.
Jeez.
And
it's
like they were so backed up because nothing ran last week. Like the whole Mid-South was shut down.
It was shut down.
So yeah. If
well,
whoever that person is, if you're listening, your I believe it's a shirt. Your shirt will be there probably by this weekend. But
there you go.
It's going to take it a full week to make it 200 miles.
Well, it'll be a few days for you guys to get your hats. I'm going to say maybe Monday. But all right, guys, that is it. And again, please write in. Let us know what you got. Like, let us know your thoughts on any guest ideas you have. And obviously leave us a rating and a review, because that'll help us just keep growing the show. Don't forget, go to agzaga.com. Use that code. Yeah,
check them out. Like I say, the big thing that's going to be coming up, of course, over these next few months will be the Bailnet wrap. They'll have, different promotions and stuff, like the big one going on where you buy in bulk, you get the free toolbox. But as always, use the Talk Dirt discount code. Get 10% off. Get it shipped right to your shop door.
Yep.
your barn door, or wherever you want it dropped off, and you're ready to go for baling season. You ain't got to worry about driving to the farm store or whatever and picking it up. It's right there. It's ready for you.
Yep. Go there, do it. agzaga.com. Guys, next week we might be recording from the front lines in Lonestar Rebellion in Texas. Who knows?
Yeah.
So
hey, it was Tennesseans that saved Texas's ass one time.
That's right. They might need us to come back.
They might need a few volunteers.
Yeah. You got? Oh no, you don't. Never mind. I thought you had yours.
Hey, I bleed orange though, baby.
I was going to say,
I'm a volunteer.
I was about to say, you got your volunteer shirt on.
Nah, this is the wrong color orange.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I kind of got some gold orange on right here. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you next week. Take care.